Well, we are thrilled to have Sister Marian here. I almost feel like you're on almost as much as I'm on.
Almost. Almost.
Well, it's fitting you join us today because we're closing out the 2019 celebration of the National Catholic Sisters Week.
Yes.
You know, you might have a few things to say about that. Religious sisters have a prominent role in Catholicism here in the U.S. and beyond. Tell us what started National Catholic Sisters Week. How did it all begin?
Well, National Catholic Sisters Week started in 2014. March is Women's History Month, and the decision was made that certainly the sisters in the United States have contributed greatly to education, health services, social services. In many ways, they're the forerunners of the services that we now enjoy, and it certainly was appropriate and very fitting to highlight the contributions of the sisters in the United States during Women's History Month. So it began in 2014 and has been growing ever since.
I think we've done it every year. I think we've done something every year.
Correct, yes.
We're going to keep doing it, too.
Yes, and actually, National Catholic Sisters Week has grown. It's now the National Catholic Sisters Project. National Catholic Sisters Week is within the National Catholic Sisters Project, which, again, is to increase the understanding of the vocation of sister and make available an online curriculum that really highlights the many charisms that are present not only in the United States but throughout the world, and certainly the variety of ministries in which sisters are involved.
Now, Sister Marian, you know me. I just have such a deep appreciation and love for the Sisters of St. Joseph,
Yes,
the
my
congregation
community.
of which you're a part, because they contributed in a huge way to my upbringing in life and loved me so much as a kid because I had them in grammar school. I was at my parish school, Blessed Sacrament in Walpole, with a gathering of parents last night, and I was singing the praises of the Sisters of St. Joseph. But the Sisters of St. Joseph are but one of many congregations and orders in the Archdiocese of Boston. There are so many groups and so many charisms. Can you just tell us about a few of them?
About a few. Well, actually, there are 60 communities, 60-plus communities
60?
of women religious in the Archdiocese, and 40 communities of men. So certainly the variety of charisms are very present here. It's probably better to talk about the variety of works rather than mentioning individual communities, but we have communities involved in certainly healthcare, social service, teaching, chaplaincy, pastoral ministry. They're in our parishes. They're involved in immigration services for new people. They run food pantries, shelters. Name an unmet need where the Church has a special concern, and the sisters, religious communities, those charisms are there to serve.
Now, this might surprise you, Sister, might not, probably not. I don't know if much will surprise you. But lately, I've spoken to a lot of young women who are considering that vocation.
Yes.
And I have to tell you that years ago I didn't hear it quite as much, but lately I'm hearing it more. Have you heard the same thing? And if yes, why?
Well, the landscape is changing clearly, and I've had the same experience. Women calling, wanting to know more. I'd like to meet sisters. I'd like to know more about what sisters are doing. And I think the attraction, there are three pieces of the life of a sister, I think, that are very attractive. A life of prayer, drawing closer to God. A life of service, really wanting to be of service, to give back. These women are faith-filled. They feel God has been so good to them. They want to give back. And also a life in community. So there is that hunger, that thirst that's out there for what religious life will offer to them, or consecrated life will be for them. And certainly they hear the call. It's also about being attuned to God's plan for each individual life. And these women are hearing this stirring. I want you to be close to me in this particular life.
A more personal question. For many years, you served as delegate for religious to Cardinal Sean, among other important and key ministries in the Archdiocese. But now you have a new role in leadership in the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Joseph. How are you liking it?
I'm loving it.
Great.
I'm enjoying it very much. It's a wonderful way for me to draw closer to our charism, which is love of God and love of neighbor without distinction. I always felt when I was the delegate for religious, it was a privilege to know the many charisms that were here in the Archdiocese of Boston. And I have to say I really loved every one of them. Every community with which or with whom I interacted, it was always a great blessing. But now having the opportunity to work more closely with our own sisters and the ministries that we sponsor is also just is a wonderful blessing as well.
I'm glad you're happy.
I'm very happy.
And where could people learn more, Sister, if they were looking?
Well, there are a variety of ways. Certainly through the Archdiocese of Boston, the Office of the Delegate for Religious is a good place to start. And I would always say that to women, and occasionally men would also call looking for religious life. The Archdiocese is a good place to start, and certainly Father Dan Hennessy in the Vocation Office has been more than supportive of folks who are calling, looking to make a connection with a religious community. I mentioned the National Catholic Sisters Project. If you just Google National Catholic Sisters Project, there's an online curriculum that's so comprehensive. There's something there for everyone in terms of how sisters are called, how sisters pray, what do sisters do, what's it like to live in community. It's a good introduction to religious life. And what I say to women is if something touches your heart as you're looking at that curriculum or as in conversation with a particular sister, write that down. That's God speaking to you, and kind of follow those words that are significant, because that's God leading you to take the next step to learn more.
Well, Sister, thank you so much as always
Yes,
for
thank you.
visiting with us.